Hey, everybody, how are you today? And welcome back to Just Talking Business. As always, we are very excited when you tune in to hear from some of our entrepreneurs. And today we're doing something a little different. I'm trying something out. Let's see how this goes. It's called the Just Talking Business Takeover. What's going to happen is one of our previous guests now has become our host. She is coming on with her own personal guest to interview them about how AI has been so instrumental in their day-to-day lives. The host of the day is going to be Stephanie Sylvestre from Avatar Buddy. We've interviewed her before, and her guest is Lavette Moore. Hey, ladies, how y'all doing today?
Hey, Stephanie.
Thank you so much for joining us. I was just telling our guests that this is going to be a takeover. And so, Stephanie from Avatar Buddy, please take it away.
Thank you, Stephanie, from it's Overtown Going Business. I'm super excited to have this conversation today with Lavette. I met Lavette like a little bit under a year ago, and she's just been such a great inspiration. And I think the biggest thing is like she's validated me. She's validated an idea that I've had for now almost 8 years that it is possible. And of course, we all know as an entrepreneur or just as a human being, when you meet somebody that validates you, how much you just like love being around them and they're so infectious. So I thought, why not have a takeover and let's talk to Lavette about generative AI and how it's helping her be more effective, and how she's helping Overtown residents be able to achieve in ways that they hadn't achieved before. So I'm going to start with letting Lavette introduce herself. And go ahead, Lavette.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us, Lavette.
I'm so happy to be here and to be beside Stephanie. Okay. My name is Lavette Moore, and I've been working for Miami-Dade Public Library for the last 35 years. I'm also the founder and president of the Women's Club of Historic Overtown Village. And well, that's about it. I work a lot in the community. I know just about everyone. I was raised in Overtown. I do a lot of community service work in Overtown. It's been about since 2018 when I incorporated the Women's Club, and it's very effective in the community. We are housed at the Historic Black Police Precinct and Courthouse Museum. I think that's where I met you, Stephanie.
Exactly. One of the most special places in Overtown.
Yes. So we're housed there, and that's where we do all of our events. That's where we have our meetings. We have monthly meetings. We have board meetings. We have everything there. We're housed there.
Okay.
It's great. So today I want to talk a little bit about generative AI. We all know that that's a passion, a topic dear and near to my heart, and I've been working on this long before it was generative AI. And I want to just kind of talk about when I first conceive of this concept of using artificial intelligence to help people just like reach levels that maybe they never even thought they could reach, or just kind of just helping them just excel and let the world see their awesomeness. I had a lot of pushback, a lot of that's not possible, you're insane. And so I'm super excited that I was not wrong, that it does have impact. And then once people started believing in me, they were like, it's going to be too difficult to use. It's going to be too difficult to roll out. And that was my first conversation with Lavette. I said, Lavette, I think that all you really need is to use a generative AI tool. And she's like, what is that? I don't know what you're talking.
I didn't have a clue. What you talking about?
Most people I don't think do.
And so I said, just try it. Just try it for a week. And so, Lavette, you want to talk about what happened when you tried it?
So what happened was, I went to the computer. First I had fear because the names, generative AI. I was like, what's she talking about? I'm not, So she gave me the web, how to get on and everything. So I went on, and then I just started filling it around, and I said, well, let me ask you the question, and then it just started spitting out. And then so I have a lot of things, a manual. I got a manual of all the work that I needed to get done. So I just started typing, and it just started spitting out. I'm like, wait a minute. This kid helping me get my work done. I was like, and so I was working on completing one of my manuals, and I started putting all the questions and adding things to it. And I got that manual done in like 45 minutes.
Wow.
And I was like, and I tried some more things. And then I say, I'm going to call her back. I called Stephanie, and I was like, hello. I was scared, because we had just met, Stephanie, I think I'm so happy because this thing has helped me. And then we talked, I think I called you back. It was like over the summer. And I was backed up with 2 years of work.
Oh, wow.
2 years. Because it's a new organization, and I really don't have the manpower. I don't have the manpower to get some of the work that I needed to get done. So over the course of the summer, I just, when I wasn't working at the library, well, I use it at the library as well to help the community. I work at the Colma Overtown Library. So I was at a job. People would come in and say, I need a letter done. Miss Lavette, you got to help me. You got to help me. They only come looking for me because I live there. Everybody in the community mostly know me. So they come looking for me. So I would get women come in. One lady, she got the job. She was convicted felon, but she had lived, she had made no crime in about 10 years. She was she had straightened her life up, and she said, I got this job. And that was like a change of life for her. She was so happy. She said, but it's just one more step I need. And she was up against the deadline like a day. She had to get it done that day. So the letter was to explain how she changed, how she had been living for the last 10 years and everything. Usually when the person come in like that, I say, I can't help that. You have to come back in 2 days. I can get it done, but you got to come back. So I said, give me 15 minutes. And I went to the computer and I got it done in 15 minutes.
Wow.
With her giving me her information. I would, she gave me the information. It takes about 5-6 minutes. And then those other minutes, I was able to craft a letter for her, and she got the job.
So wait, you said you had 2 years worth of work. How have you been able to reduce that, and in what length of time?
Say like in 2 years worth, I got it done like in a month. But that's I mean, in a month. And I was calling Stephanie, and then I told Stephanie, I say, I don't think I can live without this, Stephanie. I'll be fear, I fear for it to even disappear. Like it has changed my life.
It's
some of the things I had to get done.
And I might ask some questions because it's new to me. I mean, I'm trying to learn too. Was most of it in the realm of helping you write content?
It does everything.
Okay.
For me, it did. I got my bylaws done. I rearranged. I changed some things. So I rewrote my bylaws. I rewrote my mission. I had a couple of manuals. I did about 10 manuals.
Okay.
Grants.
Oh,
we started getting grants. One of the grants take me about maybe 45 minutes now. But if I'm steady pace, if I don't stop, it maybe take me about 30 minutes.
And are you winning those grants?
Yeah, I just winning the grants. So and when someone calls me and need information and want me to do, I can get back to them. If I do it right then, it'll take me about 7 to 10 minutes.
Okay. So Stephanie, what made you I guess, sort of so sure that this could become a part of daily life and that Lavette could help you prove that?
Well, I was sure that it could become part of daily life because when I set out to build Avatar Buddy, excuse me, when I set out to build Avatar Buddy, it was to say, how can we amplify people to be the best version of themselves? And so that was where I was going with it. And I've lived in Miami for going on 31 years, and I've done a lot of philanthropic work in Miami. I've done philanthropic work when I lived in LA and when I was growing up in Belize. And one of the things that I always irritates me is that sometimes the people with the best ideas aren't always the ones that have the mic.
Mhm.
And I
That's it for
spent
me.
that's
it for me.
there you go. And that really crystallized in 2009. I took a sabbatical and I worked at the Belafonte Tokosi Center in Liberty City. And I would sit there in the middle of the office and I would just listen. And I was just always constantly amazed about how creative, innovative, and resourceful people were. And I think that some of them were way smarter than I am. And the only difference between me and them was the zip code I lived in versus theirs. And the fact that I went on a slightly different trajectory, but that was it. I was no more smarter or creative than they were. And so being able to like think about how do you tap into that, right? And how do you tap into it in a way that can scale? And being a technologist and having worked for almost 30 years in the tech space, I was like, there's got to be a way to do this. And that's where it started. And when I told Lavette to use the tool, I wasn't thinking that it would come to this. She came to me, myself and Davinia Armstrong and Alyssa Vanderwerk have this little consulting company called The Long Game, and we help organizations like Lavette scale. And we were having a session and talking about what the needs are of each of the organization. And I did not feel like I could add much value to Lavette's life. Like I did not think that there was anything that I could really do that she could do herself. And I was like, just use the tool. And that has proven out, my initial assessment has proven out to be true.
And this is where I feel. If I don't get anything else, I got what I needed. And because for me, even when I was in school, growing up and things like that, what you probably could get done in a day, or the teacher give you something and say, complete this by the end of the day. Or you may be in your reading class, your writing class. And what may take you 30 minutes may take me 2 days. But I can do the work and I'm excellent at it, but it's the processing time. So that, right, and I do really feel like in a lot of instances that held me back.
Were you in? Well, let me start with another question. So you were using an Avatar Buddy tool?
Avatar Buddy like tool. She's not using Avatar Buddy itself, but it's all in the family, and it's pretty similar.
And is it accessible? Like, can I just pick up something that's
yeah.
Okay.
It's literally, generative AI is literally like having an assistant that helps you with all of the things that you're not good at.
Yeah. My secretary, she's 72. So she doesn't, excellent, but so and I'm expediting, she does a lot. I appreciate her a lot. I'm not judging her.
Right.
I'm just saying it may be somebody else out there in my position where I'm with Avatar Buddy, I'm able to get it done. With generative AI, I'm able to get it done.
So were you afraid when Stephanie came to you and said, I need you to do this or try this? Were you
She
very
told me,
resistant?
she said, all you need is generative AI. I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, my confidence at that time was like, here we go again. Somebody telling me to do something. I'm gonna have to end up paying them to do it. So, because a lot of things I had to get done. I had to pay for it, but now I don't. Okay. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
She said,
But
I mean, I think that the cool thing about like Lavette and why we're doing this takeover is I want people to hear about this, right? So I can come on and I can talk about this, and I don't have the level of credibility that Lavette has. And the reason why I don't is because people will be like, oh, well, of course you know how to do this. You have 30 years of tech, blah, 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 blah. Of course, it's easy for you. But
I'm on fire. I don't want to tell the world. I want to scream, you figure it out.
I'm gonna take Lavette's word for it.
Yeah.
I'll probably me. Like,
right.
what is going on? But I am intrigued by the idea that it now is something that someone can do in their home. We used to hear AI is this really big monster that it had to be conquered, but it seems like it's a little bit more attainable than possible. So, what, Stephanie, would you say to Lavette about now that you are validating, you feel validating, you can say this actually I can put into homes. What would you say to Lavette as to next steps as to how she really grows her usage of this tool?
I think that the next step that I would in a few months, so you're like having me to reveal my cards early. My next step would be to Lavette is like, let's get all of the stuff that you created and let's create like a little small language model of all your information
Okay.
for the women club of historic Overtown Village. And then that makes it even more impactful, right? Because right now she has to tell the AI about the organization. She has to tell the AI about herself, and then AI then ask the AI whatever. If you create the small language model with the information she has, all her bylaws, everything that the AI had already created, then the questions and answers is very, very easy. I would just give you an example. I'm doing a presentation on Friday, and somebody said, "Can you send me your bio?" So I send my bio, and the person's like, "Oh, it's too long. Can you cut it down?" And I was like, you know what? I was like, "Hey, Avatar Buddy, I'm doing a presentation at this event. This is what I'm presenting on. Can you write something, a 1-minute introduction of me?" Avatar Buddy has all the information about Avatar Buddy, and it has all the information about who Stephanie Sylvestre is. It wrote, I will have to say, it wrote a badass intro. I'm super excited. I mean, I don't know if they're going to use it or not, but I am pumped to hear it.
What it does, like when I use it, I can tell it something like this. Okay, like she said, do my bio. I give it the information, then I'll say, do a professional bio. I type it in. It'll give me a professional standpoint. Then I can say, well, make it more fun and interesting. Then it'll change it over to a more fun and treat. It does all of that. So you can.
Wait, is it something you have to type in or something that you could? Is AI audible at this point, or
Yeah. Okay. Avatar Buddy speaks to you. So I just want to do a little interesting thing that we have been beta testing. The ability to create a digital persona of a human, and we've successfully done that for 4 people so far. And the whole concept is the AI responds the way that person will respond, and it sounds like that person. Please introduce yourself in 3 sentences.
Hello, I'm Diane Hankerson, a person who thrives on adaptability and a relaxed approach to work, trusting in my ability to meet deadlines with a calm demeanor.
I'm Nick Chapman. I thrive on creating structured routines and am passionate about initiating and planning new projects, always ready to adapt and overcome any challenges that come my way.
And so one person is using it in their personal coaching business. So in between sessions, her clients have access to her version of Avatar Buddy that only has her content in there in the small language model. And it sounds like her and it speaks the way she would speak.
Oh, nice. Nice.
And just to if everybody's like, oh my God, what's this new term? Small language model. It's just basically a bunch of your documents. It's as easy as uploading a document to Google Drive. That's how easy it is to create a small language model in Avatar Buddy. We have refined the technology so it's that easy. So
and then the avatar will speak those documents, or
it will go through the documents and pull back the relevant information and speak as you would. And so I think that's one thing. The other thing is that Lavette and I are going on a road show. So this is the first stop. We're going to be at Barrie in March doing a TED Talk about how generative AI can help people be more effective. And I just, the first line of it is, imagine if at the end of the day you can feel less wary. Mm-hmm. And just start. That's how we're going to start the conversation. And we'll end with Lavette coming on stage so people don't think that I'm talking about some space age thing or something that's going to happen in the future. But, and I want to make sure that we have time for Lavette to talk about how does she feel as a human.
I was just going to ask, can I say that?
Yes, absolutely. Please share how you feel as a human using generative AI. What's the impact on your life?
It made a tremendous impact, because a lot of times when I used to go places, somebody said, "Oh, could you come over here?" and whatever. I wasn't confident because I had in the back of my mind, I had all this work to do.
Right.
Things was uncompleted, incomplete. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And now I feel I'm when I like this week, my week is very busy, has been very busy. I'm walking in the room confident because my work is done. If they ask me for something, I'm able to expedite it. I don't have to, oh my goodness, I got this person asked me to send them this person asked me to send it. I get all my work is done, and it's expedited, quick. It's really, I'm just confident. It changed my life.
Now, you said you also have been able to use it at work.
Right.
Is that something that a system that had to be approved by the city or the county, or is just a matter
of? Go there.
Okay.
No,
bad.
No, it wasn't. Most of the time, the people that come in, no, I do it from my standpoint.
Okay.
I do the letters from my standpoint. Because a lot of the people in the neighborhood know me. It's almost like social work working for me at the Corner Overtown Library. So I may get a mother that come in. She's not computer savvy. She has a problem with reading and stuff like that. So I've been doing that for 30 years.
Okay.
In my community.
Okay. Now I know where to go when I need some help with some literary stuff.
Yeah, there you go. The line will get longer, but
anytime, Stephanie. Anytime.
Did she say, see?
So Lavette, the line's probably going to get longer, but
it is. It could get longer now. I would say I would have maybe 15 to 20 people a day that need my help. But now, when I go home, the work is done. It's not overlaid to the next day. So I'm good.
A question to your point. It feels like this is a tool almost anybody can use, and I would imagine, I'm okay tech savvy, but to a point. But you talk about that mother who's maybe not tech savvy and has some challenges with reading. Is this something or a tool you feel like that young lady could use as well?
I'm ready to teach it. because
Yeah.
I'm ready to teach it. Because I feel like a lot of them have visions and dreams, and they fear. They have. I grew up. I grew up in Overtown. A lot of them, and they hiding behind something, and I believe it's what I was hiding behind. Um, Wow, it's gonna take me forever to get that done. I can do it. I know I can do it, but it's gonna take me forever to get that done. And all these excuses. But I think that generative AI will bring it forth because you can use it without going to someone else. You can talk to it. I mean, even if you can't type it in, you can talk to it.
It's for every man and every woman.
Right.
Exactly. And I think that one of the reasons why we're doing this is because I want people to see that it's really simple. It's like as simple as it sounds. It's like sending a text. Everybody knows how to send text messages now. You send a text message. It's like sending a text message. You type something in, or you do a speech to text, and it comes back with a response. If you don't like what it said, you could just ask it to revise it. It comes back with it. I'm a bit concerned that I'm not doing a great job.
That's understandable. What kind of job are you doing, and what concerns do you have?
I need to help patients understand their benefits, but I'm not sure that I do a really good job.
That sounds like a challenging task. What have you been doing to help patients understand their benefits? Are there any areas that have been especially challenging for you?
Sometimes I can't find the information fast enough.
That can definitely be a challenge. Is there any way you can get more organized or improve your research skills? Are there any resources available to you that could help with finding the information faster?
And so, like, we've been talking about what you've been able to accomplish, which is like a lot of outputs, right? But really, like, the outcome, and that's where I feel validated, because when I started this journey, I said that this tool will be able to help people feel good about themselves, self-worth, and self sense of self. And I've now, like, changed out those words, because those are still very much judgment words, and say agency. Because if you have agency over your life, you can do so much more, and all the amazing things that are in your brain gets unlocked. And if you're not so sure how to get it to unlock, you just tell it the AI, and the AI will unlock it for you. So
And for me, I don't mean to cut you
no, please do.
But for me too, I mean, this is sitting in the back of my head because I grew up in urban communities. For urban communities, it's a lot of, I won't say a lot, but literacy is one thing. It's literacy.
Yeah.
So it, to me, would solve some of the crime issues.
Do you really think so?
I really believe that it would.
Just because you feel like it will make people feel less intimidated about pursuing some of their dreams?
Doing what their vision and doing what they need to do, putting it on paper.
Oh, that's interesting. And could be a good thing to, at some point, Stephanie, assess and see if there are some differentials in that world.
Well, so I've got to do a shout out to one of my friends, Renee Hall, who used to be the chief of police in Dallas, and a fellow ALI colleague at Harvard. And she and I were literally last night talking about the fact that even though there's a shortage of police, crime is down. And why is crime down? Crime is down because the economy is doing well. And so basically, an economist would take what Lavette just said and say, with this AI tool, people feel more confident going to get a job. With this tool, people feel more confident navigating the job. And if they're gainfully employed and they're making money, they don't need to do crime, because most of the crime that we're dealing with are small time crime that people are doing because they need to survive, not because somebody got up and said, I am going to be a bad person today. It's, I got up, today's day 3, and I still haven't been able to get toilet paper. I haven't been able to eat. I'm just going to go to the store and I'm going to swipe a roll of toilet paper or a thing of toilet paper. I mean, that's the
And
thing.
I deal with literacy all the time. At 30 sometimes I deal with literacy, and it's so simple. A lot of times when I'm dealing with people that come in the library that I'm helping, when they tell me what they've been through and how they've been through it, it's simple.
Right.
It's simple. It could be something that's simple when they really talk to me. After all is said and done, the crime already served the time and everything. It's about literacy.
Okay. And so so Stephanie, question for you, because Lavette has said she would love to teach something like that. Is that the future of Avatar Buddy? Really sort of being a real catalyst behind the education of generative AI. I was about to say degenerative, but bad.
Yeah, generative.
AI.
So I'll break your question on into 2 categories. There's the first thing, which is just an awareness on how to use a tool. And that's what, when I said earlier that Lavette and I are going on a roadshow, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking to people. We're going to be going to the community. We're going to be like, hey guys, this is not difficult. It's very easy. And that message gets received so much better and from Lavette than it does from me. And so I'm so happy that she's willing to partner with me, because that helps with my advocacy of the importance of using this tool, having an awareness of it. So that's one thing. I will tell you that there's not a lot of training on how to use generative AI, because do we train on how to talk to a human being?
I mean, other than learning the English language or whatever language you're learning, not really.
Exactly. So talking to the generative AI is like talking to a human being. I get the best results when I just talk to it like I would talk to a human being. So that's one piece of the learning piece of it. But then the second piece of the learning is around the fact that it can now teach you things that you did not know.
I'm sorry to hear that. It can be difficult to have to enforce rules that you may not personally agree with. What would you have liked to do in that situation?
I would have liked to leave her there. She was just sitting there and not causing any problems.
I wish you could have done that. It's understandable that you had to enforce the rules, but it's also understandable that it was difficult. Is there a way you can make the situation more positive for yourself? Maybe by finding ways to connect with a homeless woman in the future, or helping out in other ways?
You mean volunteering at a homeless shelter?
Yes, volunteering at a homeless shelter or other organization that helps the homeless can be a great way to positively contribute to the situation. It can also help you to feel better about the tough decisions you may have to make as a cop.
It can help you navigate things. And because you can speak to it and it can speak back to you. If your reading isn't on par, you can use that option. If, let's say, you're embarrassed that your reading level is at a 4th grade level, you can configure it so that it always, every time you ask it something, it always responds at a 4th grade level. Okay. It breaks it down. So Avatar Buddy has the ability to set different ways it responds. So like it has a storytelling mode. So whenever it responds, it's telling you a story. There's another one where it's like to the point and blunt. So it has that. There's a more colloquial way of speaking. It does that. Business. And then now we have all the different personas that we're building out. Obviously, most people are not going to have access to those personas because they're for the people, and most of them have an instance in Avatar Buddy, so it's only in their instance that it would be available. But the point of the matter is, you can have the AI explain complex things in a very simple way. I'm just going to be honest with you. One day my lawyer sent me an email and I was like, oh Lord, I don't know what she just said. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to email her back. I was like, no, I just copied and pasted her email into Avatar Buddy. And I said, can you explain this in simple English? And it explained it in simple English. I copied it, the response, and I said to the lawyer, this is what I understood you said. If this is correct, here's my response. And it had interpreted what the lawyer said accurately. So
I
no, go ahead.
I have a major like undergird. I want my community to really tap into this. Because it's gonna change. It's gonna change some things. It's gonna change. Number one thing I feel like it's gonna do, because we have a lot of shy young men. They're very smart. They have vision and everything, but they don't like communicating with people. So this avatar, they can use it and get what they need.
So what do you say to those folks? And again, I'm Lavette, I'm you. We just everyday folks just trying to get through our day. You've probably, like I have heard a lot of the negative aspects of AI. It's going to take over the world. It's going to, it's going to take your information and use it.
One of my favorite cartoons.
Yeah, it's how do you, what would you say to someone that just wants to use this as a tool to help them through their day? How would you allay some of their fears, some of the fears that you may have had? How do you make them feel more comfortable about using the tool?
I'll just tell you to use it. Do you need my help? It helped me. I'll explain my story,
okay,
to them and let them know that I was fearful. It sounds generative AI. I was, I would explain my experience, which I have already. I've already introduced some people. And all I did was explain my story to them and told them about my issue, the processing issue, the time it took me to get work done. And I said, this is going to help you. It's going to help you. And then I say, trust me, it's going to help you. And then they try it. Then if I have to walk them through to make them feel comfortable, I do it. And that's it. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to create no whole big intro. I'm just going to say, let's do this. I don't make up stuff. I don't make up a whole story and stuff like that. I just be myself.
Right.
Especially with my community, I'm just going to be myself and say, listen.
And I think they'll trust you just based on that merit.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'll just say, just to like kind of wrap up the whole conversation is that most technology fail or becomes cumbersome, not because the technology, so it's just the human aversion to it. And for the first time, we have a tool that's so simple to use, with the impact is multiple folds of the effort it takes to use it. And there's Avatar Buddy, there's ChatGPT, there's Bard, there's Claude, there's Llama 2. There's just a whole bunch of tools out there. And so obviously I would love for everybody to use Avatar Buddy, but it's less about using Avatar Buddy and more about everybody using a generative AI tool to just unlock their awesomeness and see what it is that that they can benefit from. Some people will get it, need to use it so that they can navigate social situations, how to talk to people. Some people are going to need to use it because they need to brainstorm and just kind of get clarity about the ideas that are running around in their head. Some people are going to need to use it to help them write things because they don't write well. Some people are going to need to use it as relationship support. How do I navigate my relationship and keep going? Some people are going to need to use it just for emotional support. When something happens, being able to talk to it, to bring their anxiety down, manage those just-in-time triggers so they don't escalate into big things. There's just a wide range of how people can use it, and it's such an individualized tool that you can give 5 people the log on to the same system, and they will use it in 5 different ways, and they will all feel like it's impactful to their life and it makes them more effective. So
Great. Well, I thank you ladies so much for coming on today. Again, this is a takeover, and Stephanie, I thank you for taking over and bringing Lavette along.
Well, thank you for having us on here. And I want to end with Lavette. Do you want to share what your title is?
Oh my goodness.
She said,
Tell my title.
Okay. So Lavette and I were talking, and she's like, I want to get this out to everybody. And so we asked Avatar Buddy, like, what would be a good title for Lavette? And so she's the urban generative AI advocate.
And
you're going on a road trip. You can't get no better than that.
We're gonna be, look out for us in a community center near you, in a nonprofit near you. We want to make sure that the people that are always overlooked have front row seats, because we know when we give them front row seats, what is it that they can unlock.
Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for that information. And truth be told, Lavette, I think you've actually got me thinking about trying this.
Well, you will be convert number 7, at least that I know of. Every time. Yeah, you should.
And I'm down the street from you, so I'll come and tell you, okay, this worked, this didn't work. How do we do this?
Okay.
Great.
Thank you both so much. And I'll be in touch. And thank you for making this your first stop on your road trip.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
So everyone, thank you for tuning in for our first ever takeover. We hope to do more of these because I'm very interested in knowing where some of the businesses we've spoken to before, where they are today, and hopefully Just Talking Business was able to help them in some way get that information out there. We will see you next time. I hope to speak to you soon. Have a great day.